gonna start streaming. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the public meeting of the Mayor and Council. At this time, I would ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer and/or reflection. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please note the fire exits behind you into the main parking lot, and to my left or right into the main hallway. The new Milford Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall. Notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people, within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. At this time, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilwoman Sanusin.
Here.
Councilman Zeilner. Council President Duffy.
Here.
Councilman Grotzky.
Here.
Councilman Seymour.
Here.
Councilwoman Grant.
Here.
Mayor Petrino.
Here. Okay, before we start, I'm going to ask to add two things to our agenda tonight. First is going to be, I'd like to add Megan Fox for appointment to alternate Shade Tree Commission. I'd like to make a motion to do so.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And the second one is, we're going to be adding Resolution 2025:12, resolution approving a settlement as to the DCA's fourth round affordable housing prospective need number for the Borough of New Milford. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now we're going to move on to some presentations. USA Wrestling, New Jersey State Youth Tournament. Coach, like to come up and say a few words? Not really.
So this year we had a record number of wrestlers attend state. We had 21 wrestlers total who qualified, and we had about 11 or so who actually placed. So it was a pretty amazing year for the rec wrestling program. I also want to call out that this is the third year that they had USA Wrestling, second year that they had USA Wrestling for girls. And every year we've been able to have a good group of girls qualify, but this year was our largest group of girls. It was pretty amazing. But it's really a testament to the hard work over the years, over the season, the efforts you guys put forward, working closely with our coaches. So again, as I told you guys over the last few months, really, really special, this group of kids. Well done and congratulations.
So with that, we are going to start with the ladies. Camila Cava. Riley Costello. Andrea Guedes. Peyton Perino. Diana Ludwigi. Diana Ludwigi, come on down. Brianna Kaye. Melania Malone. Destiny Anderson. And Kaylin Walsh. You want to put your name or something? Everyone's good? Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to the boys' tournament place winners. Braden Wright. Oh, yeah, say it. Go ahead, yeah. I have it on there.
As everyone knows, Braden was our state champion this year.
Helen Wright.
Right. Gary. Well, Brian, I didn't see you on the sideline.
Put it on the chart.
Once again, congratulations on behalf of the mayor and council.
No, make sure you don't forget your phones.
We will take a 1-minute break, so
Make sure you get your phones and we're going to move on. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
And
okay, 1 minute is up.
sorry.
May I get a motion for the approval of the minutes from the March 10th, 2025 work session meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Cool, Steve, let's talk first, right?
This one is just an adoption.
Okay.
Business.
Mayor, do you want me to close the door?
Yes, please. Well, actually, yeah, okay.
It's
It's
handled.
done.
I got it.
We have a ordinance up for adoption, 2025:11, and when clerk has the opportunity, I'd ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing an emergency appropriation pursuant to NJS 40A:4-53.
Purpose of this ordinance is to approve $40,000 for the preparation of the MS4 stormwater infrastructure map, which shall be deemed special emergency appropriation as defined and provided for in NJS 40A:4-55. May I get a motion to open to the public for a public hearing on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions or comments regarding this ordinance? Now is your opportunity. Seeing that no member of the public wishes to come forward at this time, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading?
Motion. Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sanusin.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
Mayor Petrino. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Just reading the list.
Like, that wasn't a tie. So let the record reflect that tonight we have our auditor, Stephen Wilcox, here tonight, and he's going to come up and talk about our municipal budget.
Can you
Welcome, sir.
roll the podium a little further so you're on camera? A little closer.
What if I don't like to be on camera?
You can roll it the whole way.
Roll the podium.
Keep going.
It really rolls.
Yeah, it really does. Perfect. There you go.
Good?
Excellent.
My tie good? Everything good?
Okay.
Wow, that's a momentary thing. Good evening. Another year,
Here we are.
and unfortunately, I think as everybody understands, it just doesn't get easier. We thought last year was challenging. This year was even more challenging. The combination of inflation, higher interest rates, stalled development and redevelopment all through Bergen County, North Jersey, I'm sure all over the country, has played havoc with revenues, ratables, and overall, budgeting. We've been through a number of iterations. The Finance Committee, I don't know how many times they met, but I'm sure they met a lot. A lot of adjustments, a lot of cuts, a lot of decisions, and we end up with a budget tonight that to the average, and let's not forget you had a revaluation.
Oh, yes.
Just to, put the icing on the cake this year. So the average residential assessment went from about $330,000 to $643,000. This is the trend. Residential real estate has been climbing in value exponentially over the last 5 or 6 years. Unfortunately, commercial, industrial, and apartments have remained fairly flat, especially over the last year. But the end result is the tax rate's going to be basically cut in half. The local rate last year was $1.223. This year it's going to be 0.658, but obviously applied to a much higher value. So the bottom line is that the average residential unit that was $330, that's now $643, will see a $199 increase in municipal taxes, which I have to tell you, based on my clients that I've been to and gone through this process this year, you're right in the pack. There's higher. There's not much lower. I think Fair Lawn introduced last night, they were at somewhere between 160 and 170. So, it's just, if you look at the list of where the expenses went up, a little bit of salaries, almost $200,000 in pension, $171,000 in health insurance, $133,000 in liability and workers' comp insurance, $81,500 in garbage, almost $100,000 to the library, because now you're at true value. They get a third of a mil by law, so they get $98,504 more than they got last year. BCUA, $58,000. Debt service went up about $224,000. A lot of that is, again, the interest rates on short-term debt are higher than they've been in a long time. And again, I've said this every year probably for the last 5 or 6 years, all the other stuff in the budget, everything you control, the departments, the programs, are $190,000 less than last year. So as you continue to cut the things you can control, the things you can't control just are out of control. So I think, based on everything I've seen this year, Maywood introduced last night, they were at 290 something. And they're on the 5-year rolling reassessment program, and because of the reassessment and the increase in the residential and the flatness of the commercial industrial apartments, $70 of that increase is directly related to the increase in the assessments. So, again, good job, tough job. And right now, based on everything that's going on in the world, I don't see it getting easier. I don't see costs going down. Inflation has gotten worse and not better, although somebody said that they would take care of it in day one, but it's a whole different conversation. And that's where we're at. Considering everything that's going on in the world, I think we did a very good job in maintaining and managing what we have to manage.
I think you're right about the tough decisions, because the things we can't control keep going up, and what we can control, we have to make cuts. So, you ask any department in the borough, and they'll say, they got cut. So those are the tough decisions the Budget Committee and the Council had to make, and I thank them for that. It's unfortunate that we have to do that, but we have to.
Again, there's certain things you have to do and certain things you have to buy, but when you bought whatever it was, pencils, paper clips, pads, last year was $2 and this year it's $4, well, you can't buy half what you used to buy because you consume it. So it puts everybody in a really tough spot.
And keep in mind, our borough is one of the lowest in commercial ratables in the county, and yet we maintain fiscal responsibility. So, tips on my hat.
If you had a hat.
If I had a hat on.
If you were a wrestler, you would have had a hat.
Actually, that's true. That's true. Does anyone have any
Kids didn't want to know about the
budget?
Kids didn't know.
Questions, comments for the auditor, anything?
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the job you do, helping us and working with us.
Thank you for changing your meeting because of
Correct.
I was conflicted on Monday with my last school board presentation. I need to retire.
No,
No,
I have all these people telling me you can't retire until I retire.
right. I have a few more years, Steve.
And Mayor, I just want to say thank you to the Budget Committee and all your hard work. It's no picnic. I've been there. But thank you so much, and Christine especially. So many things you have up there in that brain of yours. I don't know how you do it, but thank you so
And
much.
Councilman Zellner, who couldn't be here tonight.
Yes.
He's ill, but he was on the
Yes.
Budget Committee, and
And Steve, how you bring it all together. Thank you.
I'm like a fine wine.
Oh, yeah.
I think you do it in your sleep. I send you stuff and I get it back 2 minutes later. I'm like, how do you do that?
The irony of the older I get, the more forgetful I am. So if somebody sends me something or somebody calls me for something, and sometimes I write it down and put it on a sticky, and then I lose the sticky. So I have to keep everything flowing because
Try to do the same thing.
every day, in my life this time of year, every day is a new adventure. So,
excellent.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Should I roll back?
You could leave.
Roll back. Have a nice night. See
Thank
you
you.
at the hearing.
Thank you very much.
Okay. With an introduction, 2025:12. When the clerk has the opportunity, I ask her to please read the ordinance.
calendar year 2025 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
The purpose of this ordinance is to authorize an increase in the annual budget that exceeds the appropriation limits to establish a cap bank. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading? Motion.
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman San Yuzen.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky. Yes. Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
The public hearing of this ordinance will be at our April 28th meeting. May I get a motion to introduce the 2025 municipal budget? Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman San Yuzen.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
Okay, and the last introduction tonight is 2025-13. The clerk has the opportunity, so please read the ordinance.
Bond ordinance to amend sections 4.c and 10 of the bond ordinance number 2022-07, entitled Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Making of Various Public Improvements and the Acquisition of New Communication and Signal Systems Equipment and New Automotive Vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment, in, by, and for the Borough of New Milford, in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $950,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, adopted on March 14th, 2022, as previously amended by ordinance number 2022:24, adopted on December 19th, 2022. If you want me to give a comprehensive, something easier to understand. When we were reviewing the capital budget requests this year, one of them was for new security cameras at the DPW for $25,000. And it was something we wanted to fund. The CFO said to us, we have capital money that we've already authorized that has gone unspent. It was under the heading of HVAC improvements. I checked with Vince, the DPW director. He confirmed that he had completed all the things that he had intended for that portion of the budget. So rather than incurring additional debt, we are reappropriating debt we've already authorized to cover the cost of those cameras.
Okay. So the purpose of this ordinance is to amend bond ordinance 2022:07 to include installations of security cameras at the DPW yard as an authorized purpose to make use of funding that has already been allocated but remains unspent. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading? Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman San Yuzen.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
I do have a question. Then does this make this lump sum is now used?
Yeah, there was just a little bit over that amount.
It was,
Yes.
so it's now
Yes.
off the
Expended.
books
Yes.
after?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance will be at our April 28th meeting. Okay. Item number 1 is Historic Preservation BCOS grants. Council President Duffy.
Thank you, Mayor. I think this is kind of a two-parter, wouldn't you say, Christie?
Yes.
I will just say that every year, Historic Preservation applies for a grant for a project. And over the years, now that we have full ownership of the cemetery and the fact that it is on the county, state, and federal registry, it has become the focus of most of the money that the commission is looking to spend. So therefore, they were we are applying for this grant for stabilization of certain headstones, recreation in some cases of the stability of these stones. And, you know, the mayor made a great point. Next year, yeah, he did, mark it down. Next year, there will be quite a few people visiting our borough for the 250th. And our cemetery is meaningful in this celebration. So anything I think we can do in that area is worthy of this application. So, Christine.
Yes, so,
It's you
But
then.
before you start,
yes,
Council President Duffy's correct. Because we're a revolutionary town, because we're participating in Rev 250, our cemetery is going to be advertised throughout the state as a location to see, so.
So the grant is for work being done, to be done at the cemetery prior, hopefully to be completed by
Yes.
2026?
Yes.
so there's a grant available through the county. It's through the Historic Preservation Trust Fund. It's a matching grant, and Nancy had talked about the possibility of applying for a grant for a preservation plan, the preservation that Randy had just talked about. The total budget is $50,000, so we would be talking about a $25,000 match. And in discussing that, some of the money from the 100th anniversary celebration that came in through donations was unspent and put into the Historic Preservation Trust for the Rev 250 celebration that's coming up, for the number of things that we're going to be doing. So the mayor had suggested that it would be possible for us to use $10,000 from that trust fund with the understanding that next year we would include $10,000 to be put back into the trust fund for the Rev 250 celebration, similar to what we did when we had the 100th anniversary. And that the balance would come out of our capital improvement fund, which I know we work very hard to monitor and spend frugally, but we all think this is a great opportunity to bring much needed attention to the cemetery. And so I guess we're looking for the council's support on whether or not that we're going to apply that. We need to submit a letter of intent by the end of this week, which doesn't commit us to anything, but just says that we're...
Part of the project, it's not just about cleaning the stones and making them pretty. Some of it's stabilization.
Yes.
Because they're old, and we want to preserve as much as possible.
I think it's terrific.
Thanks.
I also want to say that going around town and seeing the signs that are created by the Historic Preservation Commission with the QR codes are fabulous.
Yes.
They look
I haven't tried it yet because I've been
I haven't tried it yet. I just saw it
It's
when-
great seeing them.
Yes, don't
You
do
know,
it while you're driving.
The Satellite Beverage, the Satellite Bottle
Yes.
Company and various others. It's terrific.
I did-
Great project.
I didn't go around town, but I did open the link with the QR code, and like, but it includes things that we don't even have anymore, which I thought was really interesting. You hit the marker on the map, and it gives you the history of things that aren't even here anymore.
You know, that would be a great, like, summer tour. We get a group
It's
of-
going to be
group of
part
kids, and
of,
we go around and we do the QR codes, and
it's going to
they're
be
better at it than us.
part of that, yes. Well,
Excellent. Okay. Any questions about that? Move on to number 2, which is the DPW seasonal hire. Councilman Zalman could not be here tonight, so I believe the administrator is going to walk us through this one.
Yes. So on tonight's agenda, we do have a resolution to appoint a full-time DPW employee to replace somebody who had retired. And in the course of doing the interviews, we met a number of qualified people. One person who came across, he does not currently have experience, but he's a New Milford resident, very enthusiastic, and a recent New Milford High School grad, and we were very impressed by the young man, and we thought We actually considered whether or not to put him into the full-time position, but we all agreed the person that we picked had just the right amount of experience coming in, not too much to have learned bad habits, just enough that he has an idea of what the job's all about. But we really thought that there was an opportunity with this young man to give him a chance to see if this is something that he really is as interested in as he thinks he is. And we thought that the possibility of doing a part-time seasonal hire would be incredibly helpful for the DPW in the coming months with the amount of landscaping things that they need to keep up with.
And vacations.
And vacations. And so we wanted to find out if there was support from the mayor and council to bring this person on for a seasonal position for 6 months through the end of October. And it's part-time, 24 hours per week, so it would be a Tuesday through Thursday schedule, 7 to 3:30 p.m.
No benefits.
No benefits.
So you're creating this position just for him?
Well, we have had, what we've had done in the past, we've had both seasonal and also part-time people that we hired, that it was sort of like a period of time where we got to see what people really were able to bring to the job, and sometimes in some cases we brought them on full-time if the opportunity presented itself. And so it's not that we're creating a new position, it's just it's not something we've done in the past, but it's something that we think is merited right now.
But you hadn't planned on filling a position, you hadn't created this position this year.
Well, ideally, I mean, Vince would be very, very happy if you would be able to take somebody on full-time, but that's not necessarily where we're at right now, but it's something that he feels he can cover within his budget and/or with, what I'm trying to think of, what's the budget that he has? Not recycling, but clean communities. Yes, funding from his clean communities
Funding from
budget.
that grant.
Yes.
He applied to.
Yes.
Help cover the cost of this.
Okay.
So if there's any interest in taking that path, I did prepare a resolution, if anybody's interested in making a motion to add that to the agenda.
I'll make a motion to add it to the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This is 13.
Yeah, 113.
I read 12. That was the housing.
Oh, yeah.
I
Settlement.
write down Mr. Long. Item number 3 is distracted driving campaign compensation. Councilman Grazi.
Thank you, Mayor. We have an opportunity, police department has an opportunity to get a distracted driving grant.
We actually already have it.
We already, yeah, I'm sorry.
Already got the
We
grant.
have the grant, okay? And what it entails is 100 hours of police work at overtime, okay? And what it does is it's going to pay $70 per hour, okay, as overtime. 80% of our police force will qualify for this. In the event a sergeant or above takes it, it will be a little bit more than that. But the feeling from our PD seniors is that most of the officers who are relatively new will take this because it's an increase in pay for them on overtime. Okay?
Well, what we're asking,
What does this entail? I'm not clear on what it entails.
it's a distracted, yeah, I know.
I know what that means.
Texting,
I know what that means. What are the police officers?
They do additional patrols specifically for this.
Okay.
So that's what those 100 hours are. And we have had this grant in the past,
Right.
and what we've done in the past is we paid the actual overtime rate, which for some of the younger officers is not the 70, but the Division of Highway Traffic Safety encourages the agencies to pay participating officers a flat rate of 70 per hour for the overtime. So the request from the police department would the mayor and council approve paying $70 as a flat rate for the overtime for officers that might not be making the $70 per hour.
The money is not coming from the state or from this.
It's not coming from, it's not,
It
comes from the
borough
grant.
money.
comes from the grant.
Oh,
It comes from the grant, yes. It's covered by the grant. So if we only pay him, if we pay somebody $40 an hour, we will only get reimbursed $40. But if we pay them 70, we'll get reimbursed 70.
I think it's a great idea. It's a very obvious way to keep our community safe.
I agree.
Texting and driving has become awful. You can't go anywhere without seeing it.
Everyone's driving distracted at
I
night.
think if we could put an extra 100 hours to cracking down on that, I think it's a good thing.
Do you want to make a motion on whether that they're in agreement on that? I think we have to have like a formalized,
Okay, how do I phrase it?
We
Make a
don't-
motion that we agree to move forward with the
the minimum
minimum
of $70 per hour.
$70 per hour overtime for the distracted driving campaign compensation.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item number 4 is schedule of events. Okay. Thursday, March 27th, is the 2025 New Milford Education Foundation Gala, sponsored by the New Milford Education Foundation. It starts at 6:30 p.m. at the Alpine Country Club. If anyone is looking for a last-minute ticket, you can go to NMEF Gala 25, GiveSmart.com.
At which the mayor is going to be honored as the humanitarian of the year.
That is correct.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. If you want to hear the full speech, you have to go to that. The Milford Education Foundation, we have a gala each year. And each year they pick educators of the year and humanitarians of the year, and I was picked as the humanitarian of the year each year. So very honored and proud, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful evening. Saturday, April 5th is opening day parade, sponsored by New Milford Recreation and New Milford Little League. The parade kicks off at 9:30 a.m. It will start in the old ShopRite parking lot, and it will proceed to Kennedy Memorial Field. On Saturday, April 12th, is the Easter Pancake Breakfast, sponsored by the New Milford Athletic Boosters. It'll be from 8 to 12 p.m. at the New Milford High School cafeteria. At the same time is the annual Easter egg hunt, sponsored by New Milford Recreation. And the hunt will start at 10 a.m. And it'll be at Knights Field, right across from the cafeteria. They kind of start working together so people can do both.
Did we raise the budget on the egg thing?
Yes. Eggs are, I don't know if plastic eggs have gone up as much as real eggs, but
Okay.
probably.
It's on you, Wire.
Yeah. On Thursday, April 24th is the annual Black Poster event, sponsored by the New Milford Municipal Alliance and Alumni in Recovery. It'll take place from 1 to 5 p.m. at the New Milford YMCA. On Tuesday, May 13th, is Suicide Prevention Symposium, sponsored by the New Milford Police Department and NJ45. It'll be from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the New Milford High School auditorium. On Monday, May 26th, is New Milford's annual Memorial Day Parade, sponsored by the New Milford Public Events Committee. It'll start at 9 a.m. It'll go from Knights Field to Borough Hall. And on Saturday, May 31st, is the second annual Arts in the Park, sponsored by the New Milford Arts Committee, from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Knights Field Pavilion. Are there any events that I missed, I failed to mention? We have a lot coming up, which is great. Always great. Move on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. For my engineering update, we have been advised that the application for the French Brook Restoration Project permit has been deemed complete as of January 23rd by the DEP and is currently under review. That was the first step. The sand volleyball court next to the basketball courts behind Kennedy Field has been completed. Construction documents for the two NJDOT road improvement projects consisting of Roslyn, Monroe, and Marion and Steuben, Roslyn, Monroe, and Marion, and Steuben, Clinton, Linwood, Maple, and Roosevelt were submitted to the DOT on March 19th, and we're awaiting their comments or approval. We're in the process of getting a transfer of the CAD files from our former engineer on the Main Street Improvement Project, and once received, the current engineer will provide an updated estimate for engineering and construction management services for the project. Work on the MS4 stormwater infrastructure mapping is scheduled to begin with a meeting between the engineer and borough personnel scheduled for next week. And a walkthrough of Milford Avenue took place on March 20th in advance of the county resurfacing of Milford Avenue from River Road to Dumont, which is part of their 2026-2027 project, which they're already planning for. Work on the electric vehicle charging stations planned for the Borough Hall, the library, and Knights Field has begun, as I'm sure you might have noticed from the front lawn at the Borough Hall. And the next meeting of the Mayor and Council is a work session, and it's scheduled for Monday, April 7th at 7 p.m. Meeting a little earlier in the month to accommodate some holidays.
I just want to touch on the volleyball courts. Yes, the new volleyball court, sand volleyball court, is completed. It is not officially open yet. We are waiting for padding, which is going to go on one of the poles that has the electrical components on it. So once we get that, we will pick an opening date, and we'll do a little ribbon cutting down there.
Nice.
Maybe invite some volleyball players, and we'll have a lot of fun. And did you want to just update? We had a meeting with our grants consultant.
Yes. Okay, yes, we did meet with our grants consultant this week, talking about upcoming projects, and we got to meet some new personnel that we're going to be working with, and it was a very productive meeting.
We kind of looked at things for every department, particularly the library, environmental, a lot of pedestrian safety items, and infrastructure stuff. So those are the things we're really looking at going forward.
I'd like to hear more about some of those things when you have more information.
Excellent. Anything they find, they will feed us for our review if we want to proceed with it or pass on it.
We did tell them about the priorities that we have. Unfortunately, some of our priorities are priorities of a number of other towns, which makes the grants less likely to be
More competitive.
Yes.
More competitive, yeah.
Yeah. Very competitive.
Okay. Everyone has had a chance? Let's go to council committee reports. Let's start with, Lisa? Councilman Sanderson, start us off.
All my committees are busy working on projects, and I will have more to report next time, so I have nothing to report right now. Everybody's working hard behind the scenes.
Progress.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Duffy.
Thanks, guys. Okay, in March, Board of Health, I have to say, the Board of Health and Health Department are very grateful to the DPW for the improvements and cleaning up they did downstairs. And they are practically giddy over the idea of getting a sink in the clinic. So they are so happy about that. It's a compliance issue as well. So thank you for that. The Mid-Bergen organization has been really coming through with some very good programming with the seniors. And one thing that's coming along, I just want to alert people, they're going to be running the program for new babysitters. So keep an eye out for that. I think it's very valuable for young people, and it'll be free, of course. Historic Commission met, obviously, we talked about the grant that we discussed earlier, and we are planning to get meeting with the Rev 250 group as soon as the borough receives our packet from the statewide organizers, and then we'll kick off our first meeting. One thing I know last week was extremely trying around the borough for a number of reasons. And I just really personally want to thank our employees, especially our emergency services, and especially the New Milford Police Department. So just thank you so much for what you do. You're always at the ready. So that's my report.
Thank you.
Councilman Grotzky.
Thank you, Mayor. April 9th, I'll be attending the graduation of one of our newest police officers from the academy. I also, as to what Randy said, want to thank the police for the tough couple of weeks they've had lately. Moving on, last night the planning board met, okay? We're working on the housing agreements, getting that moved in place. They've also approved and sent back to the mayor and council the ordinance in regard to the height. It is consistent with the master plan, and it is verbiage correct as they decided it. So that should be put on the agenda for the next meeting for adoption. Also, the planning board will be looking at our next meeting at another application for joining two lots together and putting an additional house on that lot. So they're going to be busy in the upcoming year.
Excellent.
Very good.
Any questions for Councilman Roxy? Not? Councilman Seymour.
Thank you, Mayor. I just would also like to echo Council President Duffy and Councilman Grodzki said and thank all of our first responders. They've done an absolutely tremendous job, to say the least. To see the immediate response of our volunteer fire department to a car fire in front of Berkeley Street was incredible and very reassuring to our community. And likewise, seeing such a fast and immediate response from our police department to a recent incident at our high school was also very reassuring. And Mayor, as we do, our school district and our Board of Education superintendent have expressed great appreciation for their strong partnership with the borough and our joint commitment to keeping our communities, our families, our children, and of course staff and everyone safe in our community. And I also just wanted to point out for anyone who follows our domestic violence symposium program, which of course we started here in New Milford, our program has continued to grow, Mayor. Recently, it's expanded into our neighboring communities in Bergenfield, where our Coalition Against Violence did a presentation which was fantastic in Bergenfield, and I'm very gracious and appreciative of the Bergenfield Mayor's invitation to come and help present that program. And in addition, this spring, next week, on Wednesday, April 2nd at 2 p.m. at Ramapo College, will be our 4th annual Spring Violence Prevention Symposium at Ramapo College, for anyone who's interested. And again, we are partners at Ramapo College. The Office of Violence Prevention extends their gratitude and appreciation for starting the program here in New Milford.
Yeah, it's wonderful that it's starting to expand to other communities. That's exactly what our hope was. So we thank Bergenfield for jumping on it and starting now.
Absolutely.
Kudos to them.
Yep.
Councilwoman Grant.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to say that I was very honored this month when the Bergen County Planning Board re-elected me their chair. I believe this will be my 6th year serving in that position.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It is a great honor. And all my liaisons and committees and whatnot are functioning smoothly and doing what they need to do. And I have filed a council liaison report that will be appended to the minutes. And I choose not to go into any lengthy description because there's something I want to read. At our last council meeting, the mayor read a proclamation in honor of Women's History Month. And one of the things he mentioned was applauding the contributions of women to the armed services of this country. And it occurred to me that women are being removed from many websites, of governmental websites, particularly that of the Department of Defense, done by Secretary Hegseth. And so Council President Randy Duffy, Councilwoman Lisa Sanheusen, and I decided to write a letter to the Honorable Pete Hegseth in Washington, D.C. And I'd like to read that letter if it's all right with you, Mayor.
Of course.
Thank you. It says, Women's History Month. Dear Secretary Hegseth, we, the undersigned, are members of the Council of the Borough of New Milford, New Jersey, a family-oriented community of 16,000 people in Bergen County, a few miles west of the George Washington Bridge. We are proud to say that our borough has had women mayors and council members since 1991, and in some years, women made up the majority of the council. At our mayor and council meeting on March 10, 2025, the mayor issued a proclamation in honor of Women's History Month. Among other things, the proclamation lauded the achievements of women in the military. It stated, and I quote, "Women have always served to defend our freedom and our country courageously in the military, at home and abroad," unquote. Women served in the American Revolution, the Civil War, and in every war since then. Women have been exemplary soldiers and fighters both on and off the battlefield. For the 7 years ending in 2003, 100 women have graduated from the Army's Ranger School, and others successfully completed the Navy SEAL officer training. Further information on women's contributions to the military can be found at our IGIVA website. Some women who made significant contributions to the military include Harriet Tubman, Sarah Emma Edmonds, and Cathay Williams. Anne E. Dunwoody was the first woman in the military to achieve a 4-star rank, and Lori Robinson is a retired United States Air Force general who served as commander of the United States Northern Command and the North American Aerospace Defense Command from 2016 to 2018. Many women who served in the armed forces have gone on to illustrious careers after leaving the service. Witness, for example, Tammy Duckworth, who currently serves in the Senate, and Representative Mikey Sherrill, who currently serves in Congress. Yet despite the achievements of women in the military, you have stated that you will not permit women to engage in combat, will not permit girls to participate in STEM classes, and you are removing all mention of women service members and their achievements from your official Department of Defense website, as well as from Arlington National Cemetery. We find this incomprehensible, disrespectful, short-sighted, and potentially harmful to the defense of our country. We urge you to rethink your position on women in the military and encourage you to look at the talents and merits of everyone who seeks to serve. It should not matter what an individual's gender is, what their skin color is, what their religion is, what their gender identity is, what their hair and eye color are. What matters is their ability to perform the required tasks. That should be the only criterion for service in the military. Enclosed, please find a copy of our mayor's proclamation. Very truly yours.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will be sending that out tomorrow. I can't imagine that we'll actually get a
Are
response.
you sending it in the blue folder or just the actual?
No, I'm just going to send in a letter. I'm going to photocopy, make copies of the proclamation and include that rather than the original. Yeah. And I'm also sending, by the way, I'm sending copies of this letter to President Trump, Senator Duckworth, Congresswoman Sherrill, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, she's the ranking member on the Senate Armed Services Committee, and to Christopher Grady, who's the vice chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, since I don't believe there is a chair at this point. If there's anybody else you think I should send it to, please let me know. You can always add their name.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
I'll let President Trump share it with him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, for me, Historic Newbridge Landing, they're continuing to work on the project for their barn museum, and also making certain other improvements around the property, especially with the pavement and the roundabout that continually floods. They're working on trying to mitigate that. From OEM, they are working with our other emergency service organizations, and they'll be planning a drill, which will be upcoming this year, which I can't give too much details on yet. Okay, resolutions. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? Are there any that need to be pulled for further comment and or vote?
I had a question on 106.
106, authorized renewal of lease for 213 River Road with Holy Name Medical Center. That's our
There's
renewal.
no, right,
Yeah.
but there is no amount?
It's in the resolution.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry, it's in the agreement.
In the contract.
All right,
Yes.
so you
It's in the
don't,
lease agreement.
that was my question.
Yes.
So it's not,
We didn't, yeah.
okay. I was curious.
You keeping it in?
Yep,
Okay.
no, just, I was curious, how much is it? Is that something we talk about?
It is an increase from the prior lease, I believe. We are increasing it, $100 a month for the first year, and then another in the second, and another in the third. So
Okay.
it continues to increase
Thank you.
slowly, yes.
That's great, thank you.
Excellent. Making a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, anyone has any questions or comments regarding the good and welfare of the Borough of New Milford, now is your opportunity to come forward. Seeing that no member of the public wishes to come forward at this time, I would ask for a motion to close the public. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any other business before this council?
Two things.
Okay.
We made a motion to add the appointment, but usually you vote on the appointment.
Separately, okay.
Yes, and we didn't do the consent agenda yet. We didn't do vote on that yet.
Okay. So let's start with the resolutions. Let's do that first.
Sure.
Okay. May I get a motion to adopt resolutions 2025:103 through 2025:113?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So may I get a motion to appoint, can you put the name?
Yes.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Oh, yeah, Megan Cox. I thought we did, okay. Megan Cox to alternate to the Shade Tree Commission. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We added it. That's what.
That was the motion to add, yeah.
Is there anything else in your end?
Nope.
Well, before we adjourn, there's actually one more thing. Chris, the mayor and council want to recognize your 25 years of service to our borough and to our residents. And I think, I speak for everyone who said, we can't do this without you.
So I'm embarrassed, but thank you.
You are the glue that keeps everything together, and we're so excited for you, so.
Thank you very much.
Release the flowers.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All I can say, I think I said this to you privately, I feel so lucky to have found the Borough of New Milford as my home when I first came here, and the borough as a home for my career. I said to the mayor, it was my 5-year plan when I was going through a very difficult time personally, and it turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I'm really grateful to be here, and I thank you all. A pleasure to serve.
Thank you.
That was so sweet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's not just the bar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. Thank you.
To do it here, I have to read it.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Wow, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
25 years of service presented to Christine Damaris. Your dedicated service has made New Milford a better place. Thank you. And then I list all of our names.
Thank you so much.
You're
Oh my
welcome.
gosh.
Thank you, Christine.
Wow. I can't even, I'm speechless, honestly. I really am.
That's a first.
Wow. That's true. Thank you very much.
May I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Oh my
Any
gosh.
opposed? Have a good night, everyone, and let's get ready for spring.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And go Yankees. Of course.
Okay.